The extinction events humans survived. Across the entire galaxy, every advanced civilization watching Earth has one question: how are humans still alive? Because the things humans have faced would logically wipe out any reasonable species. Let's start with the Toba Supervolcano. 74,000 years ago in Indonesia, a volcano erupted so powerful it threw Earth into a volcanic winter. Ash clouds blocked the sun, temperatures plummeted, plants died. The human population crashed to just 3,000 to 10,000 individuals. The entire species nearly went extinct. For aliens, it's incomprehensible how we bounced back from such minimal genetic diversity. But that was just the beginning. The Ice Ages, humans survived multiple ice ages. When the world was covered in ice, temperatures dropped to -50 degrees in some regions. Humans didn't have fur like polar bears, no blubber like seals. Physically, we weren't designed for extreme cold at all. Yet somehow, these hairless primates figured out how to make fire, create clothing from animal skins, and build shelters. Aliens with natural adaptations probably can't fathom this level of improvisation. The plague and disease apocalypses. Now here's where it gets truly bizarre for any observing civilization. The Black Death in the 1300s killed between 75 to 200 million people, nearly half of Europe's population. A microscopic bacteria brought humanity to its knees. Any logical species would have developed immunity or abandoned infected areas. Humans. They stayed in crowded cities, didn't understand germ theory, and kept making the same mistakes. Yet they survived. The 1918 Spanish flu infected 500 million people and killed at least 50 million. This happened during World War I when humans were already killing each other in trenches. Disease plus war plus no modern medicine, the perfect storm for extinction. But humans kept going. Smallpox, tuberculosis, cholera, typhus, the list goes on. Each one should have been a civilization-ending event. Aliens. With advanced biology probably eradicated diseases millennia ago. Watching humans survive repeated pandemics without technology must seem like watching someone win the lottery 100 times. The self-destruction paradox. Here's what really confuses alien observers: humans are the only known species that actively tries to destroy itself. The World Wars. In World War I, humans invented machine guns, poison gas, tanks, and airplanes specifically to kill other humans more efficiently. Over 20 million dead. Any rational species would stop there. Instead, humans did it again. World War II was even worse, 70 to 85 million deaths. Humans invented nuclear weapons and actually used them. Twice. On cities full of civilians. After that, did humans stop? No. They made more nuclear weapons. At the peak of the Cold War, there were over 60,000 nuclear warheads, enough to destroy Earth multiple times over. The doomsday clock reached 2 minutes to midnight. Humanity stood at the edge of self-annihilation. Aliens watching this must have been thinking, they survived ice ages and supervolcanoes just to build weapons to extinct themselves. But here's the paradox: humans also created the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, dismantled thousands of warheads, and somehow stepped back from the brink. A species intelligent enough to nearly destroy itself, but also wise enough to choose survival at the last moment. The biological weaknesses. From a pure biology standpoint, humans shouldn't exist. Let's compare humans to aliens who might have visited Earth. Humans can't breathe underwater. About 71% of Earth is water and humans can hold their breath for maybe 2 minutes maximum. Most alien species probably have gills or can process oxygen from multiple sources. Humans can't fly. They're stuck on the ground despite having a massive atmosphere. Birds on their own planet can fly, but humans can't. Humans have terrible night vision. They're essentially blind in the dark. Most predators on Earth can see better at night than humans. Human skin tears easily. No scales, no thick hide, no natural armor. A simple fall can break bones. They're so fragile that their own star, the sun, can literally burn their skin. Humans need sleep. 8 hours a day of complete unconsciousness where they're vulnerable to everything. That's 1/3 of their life spent helpless. They need constant temperature regulation. Too hot. They die. Too cold. They die. The habitable range is incredibly narrow. Yet these weak, fragile creatures became the dominant species on their planet. The food and water crisis. Humans need to eat and drink constantly. Without water, they die in 3 days. Without food, maybe 3 weeks. Compare this to aliens who might have evolved efficient energy storage or can photosynthesize. But here's what's insane: throughout history, humans have faced massive famines and droughts. The Great Famine of 1315 to 1317 killed millions in Europe. The Irish Potato Famine. The Bengal Famine. The Chinese famines. Each one a catastrophic event. During these famines, humans resorted to eating bark, grass, leather, even clay. Some turned to cannibalism. The desperation was unimaginable. Any other species would have collapsed. But humans didn't just survive, they innovated. They developed agriculture, irrigation systems, food preservation, global trade networks. They turned their greatest weakness into a strength by creating civilization itself. Aliens who don't need constant nutrition probably can't understand this drive. Humans are always 72 hours away from death by dehydration, yet they built pyramids, went to space, and created art. The environmental disasters. Humans have survived environmental catastrophes that would end most civilizations. Earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, floods, droughts. Earth is a violent planet. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami killed over 230,000 people in a single day. Entire coastal communities were wiped out. The 2010 Haiti earthquake killed over 200,000. Hurricane Katrina, the Japan tsunami, the Pakistan floods, the list continues. Here's what's remarkable: humans rebuild in the exact same dangerous locations. They build cities on earthquake fault lines like San Francisco and Tokyo. They construct communities below sea level like New Orleans. They live on volcanic slopes, in tornado alleys, in flood plains. Logically, humans should abandon these areas. But they don't. They develop better engineering, early warning systems, and disaster preparedness. They choose to adapt rather than retreat. An alien civilization that colonizes perfect, stable planets would find this behavior incomprehensible. Why would you willingly live in danger? The space survival. Humans aren't designed for space. At all. The vacuum would kill them instantly. Radiation would destroy their DNA. No air, no pressure, extreme temperatures. Space is the ultimate hostile environment for human biology. Yet humans went there anyway. In 1961, Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space. In 1969, humans walked on the moon. They've built a space station where humans live continuously in an environment that's trying to kill them every second. Astronauts lose bone density, their muscles atrophy, their vision deteriorates, their immune systems weaken. Their bodies literally start breaking down in space. But they still volunteer for missions. Aliens who evolved in space or can survive vacuum conditions must be amazed. These fragile creatures built metal tubes, strapped themselves to controlled explosions, and launched into an environment completely incompatible with their biology. And they did it without having any natural adaptation for space. Pure technology and determination. The curiosity paradox. Here's something that makes humans truly unique. They're curious to the point of self-destruction. Humans discovered radiation, then exposed themselves to it to study it. Marie Curie died from radiation poisoning from her own research. They found the deepest parts of the ocean, then built submarines to go down there where the pressure would crush them instantly if something failed. They discovered electricity and immediately started experimenting with it, getting shocked repeatedly in the process. They invented airplanes and countless test pilots died learning how to fly. Every major human discovery came with casualties. But they kept going. The desire to know, to understand, to explore was stronger than the survival instinct. Most alien species probably develop knowledge safely. Humans. They learn by doing dangerous things and hoping they don't die. The emotional survival. Here's something aliens might not understand: humans have emotions that should logically lead to extinction. Humans feel grief so powerful they can die from it. Broken heart syndrome is real. They form attachments so strong that losing someone can destroy them mentally. They experience depression, anxiety, PTSD. Their own minds can become their worst enemies. Mental health crises have taken countless lives throughout history. Yet humans also have hope. Even in the darkest moments, in concentration camps, during sieges, in famines, humans found reasons to keep living. They created art in war zones. They fell in love during plagues. They had children during depressions. Viktor Frankl survived Nazi concentration camps and wrote about finding meaning in suffering. And Frank wrote about believing in human goodness while hiding from genocide. This emotional complexity, the ability to feel crushing despair but also unbreakable hope, might be humanity's secret weapon. Aliens with pure logic might not survive what humans have survived because they lack this irrational optimism. The current challenges. Right now, aliens watching Earth would be even more confused. Humans are facing climate change, a crisis they created themselves. The planet is warming, ice caps are melting, extreme weather is increasing. The logical response? Stop the behaviors causing it. But humans continue burning fossil fuels while simultaneously developing renewable energy. They acknowledge the problem while struggling to solve it. COVID-19 hit and killed millions. Humans developed vaccines in record time, an incredible achievement. But then many humans refused to take them. A species fighting against its own survival solutions. Microplastics are everywhere, even in human blood. Antibiotic resistance is growing. Biodiversity is collapsing. Yet humans are also developing carbon capture technology, renewable energy, sustainable agriculture. They're trying to fix their mistakes while still making them. The impossible resilience. So what would aliens conclude about humans? We survived supervolcanoes when we barely had tools. We survived ice ages when we had no natural protection. We survived plagues that killed half our population. We survived our own wars and weapons. We're surviving on a planet that constantly tries to kill us through earthquakes, storms, and disasters. Humans are biologically weak but technologically strong. Emotionally complex but mentally resilient. Self-destructive but also self-preserving. Individually fragile but collectively unstoppable. The alien report might read: species classification, human. Threat level, unknown. They shouldn't have survived their own planet, yet they've thrived. They lack natural defenses, yet they've conquered their world. They fight each other constantly, yet they cooperate on massive scales. They're aware of existential threats, including ones they created, yet they continue forward. Conclusion: survival through sheer stubbornness, adaptability, and irrational hope. Possibly the most resilient species we've encountered, not despite their weaknesses, but because of how they've overcome them. Recommendation: continue observation. Humanity's greatest threat is itself. Their greatest strength is also itself. Because at the end of the day, what makes humans special isn't that they're the strongest.